Hi, Laura. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here with us today, and I'm so excited to be able to interview you. We've known each other for a little bit, but I've
Yeah.
never gotten to interview you, so this is going to be really fun.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I've been really looking forward to this.
Me too. And if you guys don't know Wendy and Danny and anybody that's going to be watching, if you don't know who Laura is, she's part of our group now. But I met her through the NAM show. What, a
It
year
was
ago, two
just
years?
last year.
Just like, gosh, it feels like it's been longer, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It feels like
20,
it's been
2020.
2020. Golly,
I
that
know,
that has been the longest year on record, I think. It just has been such
very
a long
much.
year. Yeah, we met because she was at the Welch Tuning Systems booth with the drums, and I played all of the drums there. And I had 9 sets at the time of my own. I collected drums, and I came back to your booth. It was an embarrassing amount of times. Like
Hey,
I kept coming back, and I kept grabbing sticks, and I just kept playing them. And I was like, I was so floored that you finally got a camera and said, just say this, say what you're saying, because you're so excited. But I was so excited to play those drums because they are an amazing game changer in the world of drums, I think. I've played everything. I've played DW, I've played Yamaha, I've played high-end Mapex, I've played Gretsch Renowns, I've played every kind of drums, it seems like. And I had lots of like vintage Ludwig, vintage Gretsch sets, and they all sound so amazing. But the Welch tuning system drums just are cut, in my opinion, they are just a cut above. And the reason is because of the way they're put together, and they're museum quality. I love that in your, they truly are. They are a work of art, and
thank
they're
you.
not just like so mass produced, like you would get from, a whole line, a factory line of just everything coming off the assembly line. They're not made like that, and you can tell the sound is so different.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my take on it. I'm going to let you talk. So why don't you tell me a little bit of history about you and Sam, and how that all came together, putting the drum company together.
Yeah, so I guess to start off, in case people aren't familiar with the drums, it's WTS drums, Welch Tuning Systems. All of our drums have a single point tuning system that Sam, who's my husband, came up with, gosh, it's been a number of years ago now, and decided this was a really cool idea and ended up bringing it to market. And I met him along that journey and then have been helping him since. Um, let's see. So we met when I was working down in Wyoming, and he was working as a blacksmith actually at the time. So his
Okay.
background is in as an artisan blacksmith, doing really high end artwork for really like multi-million dollar homes and stuff. That's what his background was, as well as being a drummer. So when I met him, he was actually playing the drums in a band. I was out in the audience. But anyways, when we started dating, he showed me his what he was working on, and I have a bit of a background in music. I love music, and of course, I love artistic stuff as well. And so, when he showed me, I realized it was really cool, and
Hmm.
decided to add my organizational skills to the mix. And yeah, I've been working with him ever since in any capacity needed. But
So what is your main job that you kind, what is it that you do? I know that I looked through your bio, and it was mostly kind of media marketing management, that kind of thing for the company. Can you talk a little bit
yeah,
about that?
yeah. So the my role definitely evolved, and now my role title is content designer.
Okay.
It's kind of an overarching title because I do a lot of stuff all over the board for the company, but most of it is in the marketing, social media, graphic design work. I built and maintain the whole website. Um, I do all the social media scheduling and posting and everything. And
That's
then,
awesome.
yeah, and then any other administrative assistants I do as well. So, secondary role is executive assistant, but
I
mostly
love
the.
that. And I know that since you guys were at the 2020 NAM, things really picked up for Welch because you won some awards there, yeah?
Yeah, we actually won one of the Best in Show awards at
So
that NAMM
exciting.
show, which was, yeah, it was unbelievable. It was such a great experience. And yeah, unfortunately, the pandemic hit, right after that show. So
Yes.
it's been a bit of a slow year, but we've been still moving forward. And yeah, I guess, yeah, we won the Best in Show there. We've won a couple of the Editor's Choice Awards from Music Inc. as well, and gotten reviews in Modern Drummer. Sounds Like a Drum has done a bunch of videos highlighting our drums. So
So nice.
yeah,
So nice.
yeah.
I love that. Okay, so I know that even though things kind of, for everyone, for every
hmm
company, things kind of halted during the pandemic. But even though that happened, you guys have moved forward on building a new line of
Yeah,
drums. Can you talk
actually,
about that a little bit?
yeah. You know, our original drums that we have, the WTS Artistry Series, they
Yes.
are our best quality, highest end drums. And we know that that price point is a little out of the woods for some people. It's a little too much. And so we wanted to come out with a new line of drums that would be still a professional line, but built for the working drummer and in the price point for a working drummer. So still
Mhm.
our high-end quality hardware and everything, but about half the price as the Artistry Series. So came out with the Epiphany Series. So we've got a 3-piece Epiphany Series as well as Epiphany Series snare drum.
Yes.
Each of those are sold separately.
Yes,
So
and I'm
that's,
ordering all of it. I'm
yeah.
so excited because it's a
Mhm.
smaller line too, as far as the bass drum is a 20-inch instead of the 22,
Y-
which I have. But I think your artistry series, you also had an 18. You had the
Yeah,
3/4 series.
yep. Yeah, the Artistry Series, we do have the 3/4 Artistry Series, and that does have the smaller set of drums, and it only comes in a 3-piece.
Mhm.
Our other Artistry, the 4/4 Series, comes in a much wider variety of shell packs. But
Yeah,
this Epiphany Series is a 12, 14, 20. So
yeah,
again, it's for the working drummer. It's people who are bringing it to not just studios or trying to cram it in their home, fit it in
yeah.
there, but also going gigging. And right now we have them available for pre-order, and they're actually should be launching by the end of the summer, which hopefully at that point is when stuff will really be opening up again and people
Yeah.
will be starting to gig. So
Yeah, and what I like about them too, well, the artistry series is gorgeous and it's a super high glossy, beautiful. You can see the wood grain drums and several different finishes. But with the Epiphany series, it's all wrapped, and so there's some interesting wraps. You've got the silver, and you've got the champagne, which is really
we've
more of
got,
a golden,
yeah,
right?
they're
Gold
all
glitter.
sparkles. So it's a
Yeah.
champagne sparkle, gold sparkle, blue sparkle. Actually, I don't know which is my favorite yet, but
I really do like that, and I've gone back to Sam 3 times. I want the silver. No, I think I want the gold, and I keep going back and forth. So I know I'm going to get one. I just am not
yeah,
sure which one to get. But you also have a brass snare, which I'm so excited about, and
yeah.
I'm definitely ordering one. It's a 13-inch instead of the 14 by 8.
It's let's see, it's the 13 by 7.5.
Oh,
Yeah.
7.5. Sorry. I knew it was a
Yeah.
real deep one. I've got the 14 by 8 in the artistry. The maple is so beautiful. Such a good snare.
I know people
Um,
are always surprised by how deep they are, but because of our tuning system, you can get a huge range out of our drums. And I know that, so the brass snare is the Steve Pruitt signature snare. He's one of our artists. He was part of Snarky Puppy and is just
mhm,
world renowned, amazing
yeah.
guy. But Sam, who's the drummer in our family, is in love with that snare. Like he cannot get enough of it. And I know everybody else who's tried it so far is the same. So we're really
I
looking
can't
forward
wait.
to getting that out.
It's the next thing I'm getting. I already called Sam and it's like I have to have that snare. Yeah, I'm so excited. One thing I do love about the drums is for conventional drum sets generally, there is kind of a sweet spot. So where you will You'll hear people, going around the drum, and they'll be tuning it, and they'll finally get it to the sweet spot of the drum where you know that the tuning is correct, top and bottom. You finally hear the drum the way it's supposed to kind of ring and sing, right? But on Welch drums, no matter, you can have that tuned almost flat or all the way as tight as you can make it, and it always stays in the sweet spot. So there's no tuning on the drum that it's not going to allow the drum to really ring and sing. And one of the reasons is because it's got 90% less holes drilled in it and weight of what am I trying to say? Yeah, the hardware around it, so that the drum can actually do what it's supposed to do. You can hear it in the way that it's supposed to be heard. I love that about your drums.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's only 4 holes from our hardware in the drum shell, so they can really resonate to their full potential. And because our system has the 2 heads working together, another reason you have so many sweet spots. Not, traditional lug drums, you get about maybe a couple sweet spots, because that's when both heads are working together and resonating together. Because our system always has those heads working together and resonating together. That's why the sweet spots, work all the way up and down the range. It's pretty cool.
And one thing, a working drummer, as for me, I work constantly. I play 3 gigs. Even now during the pandemic, I'm playing a lot of church gigs, and I get hired for a lot of different things still. So I'm playing with lots of different genres of music and lots of different types of instruments every week. And I can tune, since I'm playing one up, one down, I can tune the rack tom really low so that it sounds like I'm playing 2 floor toms, since I don't have a second floor tom. And it really sounds like 2 really low floor, like a 16/18 almost.
Yeah.
And then if I'm playing something fusion or jazzy or whatever, I can tune that sucker up and it just pops. It's a really high sound on the rack, and I can even make my floor tom pretty high and have that sound. So it's just it's so perfect. Can you tell that I love these drums? It is ridiculous how much I do, really. Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I'm gushing about it because honestly, I don't have any product that I love as much as these drums, and probably my cymbals. I can't get enough of my cymbals. It's a sickness, honestly. Some girls like shoes and bags. I like drums and cymbals. I don't care about that other stuff.
That's okay.
I know it's ridiculous. Okay, so besides the Epiphany series rolling out, do you guys have anything else that's coming up that's kind of exciting that you want us to know about?
Well, we just launched a bunch of apparel and such on our website, which is kind of fun. Yes. We finally got around to doing that. So that's a little story. And then in other recent news, I think Sam, who's our CEO, and my husband, he'll be at the Chicago Drum Show, joining one of our retailers there. So that's pretty exciting.
And now, when is that happening? Because I would love to go to that.
Gosh, it's mid-May. I think around the 12th or so. Yeah.
Okay.
So our whole family has just got vaccinated, so we're ready to start putting our toes back in the water and see how it goes. But really looking forward to reconnecting with everybody in the drumming community and the drum family. So
that's wonderful. Do you know if the summer NAMM is going to be happening in Nashville this year? Have you heard?
It is, yeah. I don't think we've decided yet what our plans are for that, but it is happening. We did participate in the winter NAMM. It was all virtual.
Okay.
That was a very different experience.
I'm sure.
Than the traditional NAMM, where you can't hear yourself think in the drum hall, and you meet like thousands of people every day. It was definitely a lot quieter than that, but we definitely made some good connections, and
that's
actually
amazing.
Got to talk to one of the gals from Drummergirls United. Alexa Kent hopped on a video call with me, so that was really fun.
Alexa, I know her well. Yep. I met her at the NAMM show, and she is part of our group. And then she actually hired me to do some drum lessons with her for a little bit after the last NAMM show. So that was really, really fun. She's such a great gal.
Yeah, well, it's just, I love between the NAMM show and Drummergirls United, I've met so many wonderful people. It's been great, and especially with the pandemic, being able to just keep connected with that many people, at least virtually, has been really nice. So
Yeah,
but
I think. Go ahead.
oh no, you're fine.
No, I mean, I think you're right on. I think the Zoom calls especially have been so helpful to so many that they live alone and they don't get to see their family very often and they work remotely. So this is one of the ways that they get to stay connected
Yep.
to people.
I work remotely from home as well, and so yeah, it's a good way to put myself out there without actually going out there. So
Yeah, it's been a good thing. Well, you guys that are on with us now, Danny and Maya and Wendy, what do you, Hazel? Hey, Hazel, I don't see you, but I know that you're there. What do you guys think about the role of the Zoom calls? Have they been helpful to you?
This is fantastic. I tell you what, I just got off with the phone with my songwriting partner, and I was saying, I'm on a Zoom meeting right now with people from all over the world in Oklahoma, and he's going, really? This is great, you know, because we get to hear about things we don't normally get to hear about or see, and this is just fantastic. My 2 cents.
Thank you, Wendy, and I'm so glad that you're part of the group. Thank you for being part of it.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Maya and Danny, what are your take on the Zooms that we've been having?
For me, it's fantastic because you are all so far away and out of reach. I will never meet you probably, but it's great to see you moving and not only on pictures and writing in the group. So it's like you're nearer to me than just on Facebook.
I agree.
It's great to hear you and can talk to you. It's really great, and it's a nice time. And always in the evening, it's good for me because during the day I would have to work, so I wouldn't have the opportunity to take part. But in the evening, it's okay, and it's really nice, and I like it.
Oh,
so
fantastic!
I've been to about 70% of all Zoom calls, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I missed a few, but not many.
Yeah, you've been a really important part. Thank you so much, Danny, for being part of it.
Thank you for doing this and organizing that, because this is much work, I think.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah, make
but
their
I
point.
think it's so worth it, you know. I was saying before I started this, wouldn't it be nice if we could go somewhere and see all of the female drummers that we see playing on the YouTube videos and things? We never get to really hear from them. Even on Drumeo, I think they're starting to bring in more females, because I talked to them for a long time about that. But you just don't see a lot of kind of in-depth interviews with female drummers, or like you, Laura, females that are working in the drumming industry, seeing on the other end of that. And I was telling my husband one time, I wish there was a place where we could see all of these things. And then I said, oh, well, I'll just do it. Why don't I just make that happen? Why am I waiting for somebody else to do something? And so that's how I started. And I don't know how to interview people and all of that. But so I'm just, you guys are so patient with me. I appreciate it. I'm just figuring it out as we go. But you guys are awesome, and it makes it really easy for me.
Well, we appreciate you putting these together. It's really cool to hear everybody's stories and then share my own wacky backgrounds and everything.
Well, all of us have that, right? We all have wacky backgrounds and interesting everything. If I was a social worker before I did this full time, and I told people for a long time, if you just take the time to sit and listen to someone's story, you will find that everyone has an interesting story. Just listen. And so I'm glad that we get to tell these stories, because I find you all fascinating, all that you guys have, your backgrounds and how it all kind of weaves together to make such an interesting story.
Yeah. That's actually, so my background's in museum studies. That's actually why
Okay.
I got into it, partly because just the storytelling aspect. I love, people's histories and stuff, and I love history, so that all kind of tied together. But
So much. So so how long has I know that Sam is not here, but so how long has he been a drummer, and when did he come up with the idea to do this and to actually do it as a living?
yeah, Sam's been drumming since he could, walk or move forever. So he played all through high school and stuff. And then, um, let's see, I think it was around 2015. He was actually running his own drumming school and teaching
Okay.
drumming, and down in Colorado. And that's when he came up with the idea in the middle of the night one night, realizing he was getting really sick of tuning up his drums for his students every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about when he came up with it. And then we met, I guess, 2000, it was technically 2016. It was New Year's Eve, so it was
Okay.
2017. Yeah, so it's been a while. It's been a long road, but as with his artist background, he really wanted to make sure that what he put out as a product reflected him as an artist and his quality standards. And I think it did that.
Mission
Yeah.
accomplished. No doubt. It
Yeah.
just doesn't get any better than these drums, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so thankful to have met you guys, because honestly, being associated with Welch drums has changed the way I do everything as far as drumming is concerned. I'm so excited. I have 3 sets here at the house. My husband keeps building sets for me. Because he finds vintage kits and then he refinishes them, and he's like, look, and I'm like, I can't play those anywhere, nor would I want to. So I have them and they're stacked up, and I actually end up moving my Welch drums around the house when my band comes over, and he's like, but those are literally sitting where your band rehearsal is. And I'm like, yeah, but they don't sound like, so I just move those back and forth every time. I love them. Okay, so do you guys have oh, sorry, go ahead, Laura.
No, I love hearing all the stories of how our drums have affected our artists' lives or our customers' lives, just because it's not just about fast tuning. It's about opening up all these possibilities, allowing you as musicians to tap into your musicality like that. You're not messing around with finding the right sound or anything. You can find that sound, play around with it, and then change that sound in seconds and try out something new and really dive into what makes you a musician. And it's just so cool to hear those stories. I am not a drummer. I can play around on it at the trade shows to demonstrate, and that's about it. I very much appreciate it though. My background, I grew up playing French horn, so really different, and singing and stuff. But and I'm trying to learn how to play the ukulele.
How awesome.
Slow going. A stringed instrument is so different than a French horn, but it's fun. So I really appreciate that level of stuff. My whole family is very musical, so yeah, it's just, I love hearing those stories.
Yeah, the snare is my favorite piece, and it's because there are some songs that a drummer would want a really tight snare sound. And so like when I'm playing fusion, I love my snare to be very tight. I like the tension to be all the way up on the head, but I also like the tuning knob. I like it to be very tight, so it really has a crack sound. But then there are other songs that I play that I want that old school, really fat, almost flat sounding snare drum. And I can immediately, within seconds, change that drum to sound like a completely different drum, and then go back to anything I want in between songs. And with other drummers, I know that they have to bring 2 or 3 snares with them, or have a snare sitting on the side and use that for that sound instead of their main snare. And I don't have to do that. I feel like I have 10 snares with me with this one, because I can change it so in so many ways. It's so beautiful. Anyway, do you guys have questions for Laura on being on the other end of the drumming industry, not necessarily as a professional drummer, but working as a professional in the drumming industry? Questions, ladies? Hi, Linda. Nice to see you. Nobody?
Is there a video out there that kind of shows how this system works that we can kind of take a look at? I've seen the pictures, but being a video person myself, videographer and editor, I'm always interested in how certain things are presented, and if there's something there that we can watch to see this technology innovation.
Yeah, we have a ton of videos out. You can either go to our website, it's just wtsdrums.com, and I'll put that in the chat in a moment, or go to our YouTube page, and the first YouTube video is one about our Artistry Series, and it definitely dives into showing how it works. And then we've got a whole, like, the best of WTS playlist that'll give you a lot of those types of videos. So yeah,
cool.
There's a lot out there, and I'll put that in the chat right now. Just our website, and then the YouTube is just Welch Tuning Systems. So
yeah, check those out. I go onto the YouTube channel a lot and watch the different ones, just to see the different artists playing them and how they're using them, and it's just so interesting how everybody uses the drums. So I think you would find a lot of information there, Wendy.
And then we do post almost every day on Facebook and Instagram. So if you are active on either of those platforms, that's a good way to get new content. A lot of times I'll share content from our artists to just show people, what other artists are up to. Sometimes they have some fun things putting out. Like Tammy just had her rehearsal the other day, which is really awesome. I'm excited to share that video. And
yeah, it's such a fun band. I've been in several bands, my whole life, and I decided I just was having a hard time like gelling with the music or the venues that they were choosing or whatever, and I just thought, just like everything, I was like, well, why don't I just do it? So I picked a band. I started hiring bandmates, and I chose some of the music, and it's all my favorite songs. That's just, I think it's fun and happy, and would get everybody to dance and sing along with us. And so if we're all happy doing it, then I feel like the audience is going to be happy listening to it too.
That's the dream.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing, and it's really, really fun. I love playing with these guys. So anyway, thank you for sharing that.
There's also a video from the guys of Sounds Like a Drum who tested the Welch tuning drums. But I can't remember. I saw the video, but it's a few weeks ago and I can't really remember. Is it possible to tune both heads, how do you say, independently?
No, so our system works to tune both heads at the same time. So it works very differently than a traditional tension rod drum. But if you want to get that difference in tone from top to bottom, you can actually get that just by switching out your drum heads. So if you have both the same drum heads on top and bottom, you're going to get the same tone from both. If you have a thinner or thicker head on the bottom than from the top, you're going to get that difference in tone between the two heads. So as you're tuning it up and down, it's going to retain that relationship of tone between top and bottom heads as you go up and down the tuning.
Yeah, so you could do a single ply on one and a double ply on the other, as an example, and you can get differences in sound, because some people like the top head to be slightly higher, like the 80s drum sound. You would always hear that doom, that kind of sound. And to get that, a lot of people, the thought is the top head would be higher, the bottom head would be lower, so that the pitch would drop. I'm not certain if that's truly accurate, but that's what a lot of the thought is. So if that is what people are wanting, then I suggest getting, the thinner head on the one ply and then the double ply, so that it's going to, like you said, it's going to keep the same tension as you tune it up. It's going to retain the same tension, but because the heads are different, it's going to be a little bit different in tone.
Yeah, hopefully that makes sense.
Okay, one thing that we didn't touch on, and do you have a drum there with you so they can see actually what it looks like?
Don't, but I can have my trusty sidekick go get one.
If you want, just so they can see. I'm in my bedroom, so I'm
get a
not set
drum
up in
case.
my studio. But one thing that's really cool about it is instead of like a regular drum, you're going to see, tension lugs, right? So you're going to see lugs, and you have to tighten one, and then you would tighten the bottom and all the way around both. But with this, if you've ever seen drums from, like, say, the Revolutionary War, where it was a rope cable kind of situation, right? And so that would actually keep the tension on both. It's similar, but this is with a steel cable, basically.
Yeah. So,
and go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say rope tension drums have been around for a really long time. Thankfully for us, we have modern technology and engineering to be able to make it appropriate for, modern use. And
look at this.
So this is our
You
new
guys.
brass snare. Is the beauty.
That is my next
little
snare, I'm telling you guys. Okay,
Yep.
can you explain a little bit while you're holding that?
So it's really simple. It's a pulley and cable system. So these pulleys are all free floating. There's nothing, they're only attached to the hoop at the top here. And then this tensioner here works just like you're tuning a guitar. It's our bass, upright bass, but you just turn the knob up and down, and that will tighten and loosen the heads and bring your tension tighter, looser, and then so your tone will go up and down. It's a little hard, being in a video here trying to hold it, but yeah, you can kind of see that.
And it does it evenly?
Yeah, it does it evenly, and it holds the tension really well. So you're not going to have it loosening up while you're playing, or Sam's always talking about how he used to lose lugs in the middle of a gig. They just fall right out the bottom because they loosen up as you're beating on a drum, and that doesn't happen. If it does slip at all, it takes like half a second to get it back where you need.
Well, exactly. And even difference in temperatures would change, and you would have to change the tension on your drums. If it got really cold, you'd have to go ahead and tighten them up again in between sets and things like that. But with this, it really holds the tuning very, very well. I don't have to retune very often unless I just want to change the tone of my drums.
Right.
So it's so perfect in that. One question I get a lot, you can see there's still cable that goes all the way around, and people are like, well, then how hard is it to change the heads? Right? That's the one question that I get all of the time.
Really easy. It's a little bit of a learning curve, but after you do it once or twice, it's really easy. It's basically like you just unwind it until the cable is totally loosened up, pull out the loose end, and then take it out like you'd be pulling a shoelace out of your shoe. Pull it out, change the heads out really quick. These are the pulleys are bolted to the top here, so you're never taking those off. And once your heads are switched out, put it back together, relace it like you're lacing up a shoe again, and wind it back up in the tuning knob just like you would on a guitar. Yeah. And we have a tutorial on our website too, but it's really easy. I mean, I don't play the drums. I've never done anything with drums before working with Sam, and I can do it too. So
yeah, and I was really nervous. I got the set, and then I signed with Remo as an artist, and Remo sent me my heads. And my heads, they come already with Evans heads on them, so they already sound really, really good when you get the drums from them. But because I'm a Remo artist, I wanted to switch out to my Remo heads, and I was really nervous about taking the heads off because, my gosh, they sounded perfect already. And I didn't want to mess with the sound of the drums. So we pulled up the YouTube tutorial and had it on the TV in front of us, and we just unwound it just like it was showing. And I mean, literally, we put the new head on it. It was less than 5 minutes to have it a perfect sound again. Probably it would have taken me much longer with a traditional head, taking it on and off. Maybe you've been a little faster, but then tuning the thing top and bottom would have taken much longer. So as scary as it might look, just because it's different, everything is a little scary if you haven't done it before. Once you do it, it's so much easier, in my opinion. And like tuning the bass drum, everybody has a little harder time tuning the bass drum because it's all the way around, top and bottom. This is so fast, you guys. You can go from a really tight, high pitched bass drum sound if you just want that thump, or if you want a really low, like booming sound. You literally in 2 seconds, you can have that in between songs. It's so awesome.
You can tune the bass drum while you're sitting in your throne.
Yeah, seriously, in between songs. And I do that. My singer will be talking, and then I will tune all of my drums down real quick, and it really sounds like a completely different set. And I can do that in between songs all the time.
Danny, did you have a question?
I wanted to ask this question. How do you change the heads? We have to loosen
Perfect.
Yeah.
I would say another question we get a lot, because people are used to guitar strings and such. They ask about how strong the cable is, or what happens if it breaks during a show. Honestly, this stuff it's stainless steel, braided stainless steel cable. It's crazy strong. We've never had one break on us ever, and Sam's been playing some of the same kits.
This is not going to break.
Yeah.
You would have to use a cable cutter to break it.
And honestly, if there was any damage to it, again, it's so easy to change out. We sell the cables just like guitar strings are sold, so it's easy. Anybody else have any questions about the drums or me?
I was actually going to ask, I've never used this system, and I'm wondering if you also build the drums themselves.
So so we have a manufacturer who's been building drums for like 30 years. They are building our Artistry Series and doing the whole lacquer process and everything.
So beautiful.
And actually, can that tuning system that I see on the outside of the drum, can that be applied onto, like, custom to someone else, like to another drum kit besides the ones that your company's making? If someone tested that or ordered that?
Yeah, so we don't recommend retrofitting, mostly because, you'd have to take off all the old hardware and you'd be left with a shell with a bunch of holes in it. So that's always problematic. But we do not only work with other drum manufacturers, but we also sell hardware for drum builders. And actually that was new for this year too. This year's been really, despite such a slow last year, this year we've been crazy busy launching a bunch of new products. So that was one of the new things. We now sell kits for snares, toms, and bass drums.
Yeah, and I know Outlaw has been doing some things with you guys. Outlaw Drums.
Outlaw Drums. They built a really beautiful walnut stave snare last year, I guess it was. Might have been the year before that. I'm losing track. And then we've got some other things in the works with some other people too. So
it's so exciting.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Yeah, it's really fun. I think they might be putting out some more as well. We'll have to see. Everybody's a little behind because of the pandemic, but I know I'm excited to see what other people come out with, because that was the initial idea with creating this system, is to make it accessible to any drummers, any types of drum, acoustic drums. We don't want to hoard it to ourselves. We really believe this is a game-changing system that really improves people's musicality. We're not trying to replace tension rod drums, but we're offering another option that we really believe in and want to make that available to other drummers and drum manufacturers.
So awesome. And you guys, just so that you know, they're the easiest people to work with, and they're so much fun to be around too. So one thing that I really love about the companies that I'm with is I really like you know how it is. You want to do business with people like and trust, instead of just like these big faceless companies that everybody knows, but you don't really know who's running the show. But with Sam and Laura, they will personally call me or text me right back or whatever if I have any questions. Sam, when I first got the drums, I was like, my snare doesn't sound like I need it to sound. And he goes, FaceTime me, let's walk through this. And like, he stayed on the phone with me for 30 minutes, making sure that I had everything I needed to get the sound that I wanted. And you just wouldn't be able to maybe call up the president of XYZ #1 company and get that kind of attention. So they go above and beyond when it comes to their drums. And I am so appreciative of you guys.
Oh, no problem at all. We believe in community and maintaining that. I mean, that's how we are in our personal lives, and wanted to continue that in business as well. So
Well, and it
being-
works because people that know these drums love these drums. So one question I do get to is, where can people find these? What drum stores actually have them in stock, or where can they go and play them to try them out?
Yeah, we actually have, we do sell them on our own website. And then we also have a number of local dealers throughout the US where you can buy it straight from them if you want to support local. So if you go to our website under find the shop tab, there's a find a dealer
Nice.
page, and you can find whoever's nearest you. Of course, if your local dealer does not have our drums, we're happy to talk to them. We're still expanding dealers. We are willing to look outside the states as well. We don't currently have any dealers outside the United States, but that's definitely something we want to do. And we do ship internationally if needed. So
That's fantastic. So wonderful. Do you guys have other questions for Laura?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Maya.
When you replace heads on this drum, do you need to, so I don't always replace the bottom head on my drums because the upper usually gets worn much, I don't really tune the lower as often. And so with this system, would I need to replace both heads?
No, it's just like a normal drum, just both hoops come off and you can choose which to replace. So hopefully that makes sense. It's really easy.
Yeah, it's so simple because once the cable is out, you basically just take the top hoop off, take the bottom hoop off, you're left with the drum shell, right? And then you put the whatever heads on, you can put the old bottom head back on, and the bottom rim, and top head, top rim, and then just lace it back up. It's really quick.
So you do need to remove both in order to replace even just one,
it just comes apart. So as soon as you unlace the drum cable, the two are loose. You don't have to change it. If you go to our website and under, let's see, I moved around some pages. I have to remember where I put stuff. Under the About page tab, there's a how to change drum heads. And there's not only the video, but there's just some still images you can see there to get an idea.
And it's very Dick and Jane. So if you, especially the YouTube video that we pulled up, it was the camera angle is very close up, so you know exactly how to thread it through and all of that. We would hit pause and do this one step, and then we would hit play and then let it go on through, and eventually it was so quick and easy. So no, I had worry for no reason. Anything else?
Yeah, and oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I just related to that, does the bottom head get worn a little sooner than normal because it's being tightened along with the top head?
From what I've heard, the heads actually tend to last a lot longer because you're not putting uneven strain on it with the lugs. The tension is equalizing around the whole hoop, top and bottom, and so your heads are lasting longer. I don't know top versus bottom so much.
Right, me either.
Certainly find out, but yeah, from what I've heard, just overall, they tend to last a lot longer. It's pretty cool. Yeah, there's been a lot of, when Sam first came up with this, the whole idea was fast tuning, right? Well, as we've gone along, we've realized there's all these other really cool aspects to it, not just in musicality, but like, oh, the drum heads, don't wear out as fast. That's kind of nice. You're not spending as much money on that. Or there's just been a lot of fun things that have come up that make us just fall in love with them more every day.
Yeah, same for me, for sure. Back to your merch. When I first came on with Welch, they sent me a t-shirt, and it's that if you guys have had any of the Drummergirls United t-shirts, I have that tri-blend super soft shirts, and the Welch shirt that I got, the black with the gold drum on the across the top, very super soft as well. It's the same type of that tri-blend, really soft material. So if you ever get one of their shirts, it's kind of high end, and it's got that feel to it that you would like, I think.
Yeah, we love our soft shirts.
I do. I am a sucker for a soft shirt.
I also got some women's shirts up there too. I know, a lot of our followers, of course, are guys, but I realize there's a huge women's community. I want to make sure
Yes,
we're
there
being
is.
inclusive. And hopefully we'll be adding some more products along the line as well.
Very nice.
But I was going to
Excited.
say too, even if you don't have any questions right now, I'm always available to answer any questions. You can reach out through our website. Both Sam and I check those emails. So yeah.
Okay. Do you guys have anything else? No?
I just wanted to say, I really like the design actually with the wire.
Oh,
I mean, just my parents are both artists, so I grew up with a lot of art and mostly abstract art, but my father makes like shapes, like shape paintings without any frame. So the concept is to have the wall space interact with the artwork, as in like positive, negative space. So it kind of reminded me of that.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
The drum shell kind of peeking through in different parts of it.
Mhm.
And I just wonder how that design came about, maybe.
Oh, I know. I know Sam, Sam again, background as an artist. He went through a lot of design iterations. I know I can't speak to that part specifically. I do know he built a lot of clay models for the different pieces and parts to get the overall look honed in. I can't speak to the actual relief there, but he, a big part of the whole design was looking at the drums as a whole and seeing what story they could tell, and not just look like something hacked together, you know.
He did it. He did it well.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Last year we participated in a thing called Making Montana. It was for elementary through high school kids and teaching them about design and building and technology and engineering and such. And so we went there as a drum company, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And showed the kids the different design iterations from these clay models through 3D prototypes, 3D printed prototypes, to our machined parts, and then to the final pieces. And it's pretty amazing how many iterations it goes through to get to the final look. But Sam has one of his partners is an engineer, and so they worked closely together on that.
Good question.
Yeah.
Anything else? Well, do you have anything else that we haven't covered, Laura, that you'd like for us to know?
I don't think so. If anybody ever wants to say hi or check out our page or anything, I'm always open to it. So.
Yay. And Laura is a member of Drummergirls as well. You've been with us, I guess, in our group for about a half a year, do you think?
Yeah, since last fall sometime.
Yeah. So she's part of the group as well. So you can always find her on the group page as well.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, I'm gonna let you guys go, but I thank you so much, Laura, for taking your time to do this interview with me and with us. And thank you guys for taking time out to hang out with us today and meeting Laura. And then anybody else that gets to watch us afterwards, please feel free, once it's on social media, the YouTube page, Instagram, Facebook, please feel free to share any of these interviews, because I want more and more people to know about our drummers and our females in the industry. I don't want it to just be us that gets to see these. I want it to be shared. So if you guys have a second to share some of these videos, I'd appreciate it. I think everybody would like to see these if they ever get to run across them. So thank you guys for doing that as well, if you can.
Thank you, Tammy.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, well, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to be working all afternoon editing all of these wonderful interviews that I've done lately, and I'm going to be trying to put them out on our page, and I'm going to be hitting up our YouTube, and I've got a leadership team that helps put them on our Facebook and also on our new Instagram page as well. So be looking there, and then share away if you see them. Okay.
I just want to say thank you, Tammy.
You're very welcome. I'm so glad I get to do this for you guys. You're welcome. And like Laura said, I'm always available as well. So anybody that knows, if you ever try to get in touch with me, if I can't get back to you right away, I promise I will get back to you, and just feel free to reach out if you need anything, or if you see anything that concerns you, or you just have questions or whatever. I'm happy to answer you.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you,
You guys have a great day, and we'll see you. I think the next one is tomorrow night. Sheila Klotz, who won a Hit Like a Girl 40 plus. She was the champion last year, and she's part of our group. So we're going to be doing her interview. And then on Friday, Lindsay Artkoff, who was a Hit Like a Girl champion a few years ago, I think in 2016, she's part of our group as well. So that's going to be really fun. So if you can, try to join us for those.
Awesome.
All right. I'll see
Thank
you
you,
guys later.
guys.
Thank you, Laura. Say hi to Sam for me.
I will.
Okay. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Maya. Bye, Danny. Bye, Wendy.